Section 31, New Technology repeats a common Star Trek science plot hole. Star Trek has always walked a fine line between science and storytelling. At its best, the franchise imagines a future where humanity's ingenuity is limitless, where warp drives and replicators feel plausible, and where exploration is bound only by curiosity and courage. But at its worst, Star Trek occasionally leans on convenient science, plot devices that exist solely to move the story along, no matter how questionable they are from a real-world perspective. Section 31, Star Trek's Shadowy Intelligence Organization, has a knack for exemplifying this problem, and its latest introduction of cutting-edge technology in the current series does little to break that trend. In fact, it doubles down on one of Star Trek's oldest science plot holes. The new tech in question is an advanced neuromanipulation device that Section 31 employs to influence decision-making across entire populations. Think of it as a combination of predictive AI, telepathy, and mind control circuitry, all neatly packaged in a portable, ship-mounted system. The episode builds tension around its ethical implications, and the visual effects team deserves credit for making it feel ominously plausible. Yet, beneath the cinematic gloss lies a glaring logical shortcut. A piece of technology capable of rewriting individual choices is suddenly treated as a plot solution for every problem. It's the same issue Star Trek has faced with phasers, transporters, and time travel for decades. If the solution exists, why isn't it used all the time? This is what I like to call the "why not always" problem. In storytelling terms, it's simple. If a technology is powerful enough to solve a dilemma in one episode, viewers naturally wonder why it isn't deployed everywhere. Section 31 has used similar devices before, from memory implants to predictive algorithms that border on omniscience. Each time, the audience is expected to suspend disbelief, accepting the narrative convenience as part of the universe. But as Star Trek moves into more serialized storytelling with layered continuity, these shortcuts start to jar against the franchise's internal logic. When Section 31 introduces a machine capable of manipulating a population's entire decision-making process, the unasked question looms large. Why hasn't this device, or at least some version of it, already changed the course of major conflicts across the galaxy? It's worth noting that this isn't new territory for Star Trek. TNG had the Eden-like anomaly in the masterpiece Society, Voyager had the neuropressure implants in Alter Ego, and Enterprise flirted with mind-controlling tech in its later seasons. Each instance serves a specific narrative function, create stakes, force moral dilemmas, or push character development. Yet all of them share the same weakness. The story assumes viewers will ignore the broader implications. Section 31's new gadget is the latest and arguably most egregious example. The show attempts to cloak the logic hole with secrecy and bureaucratic limitations, framing Section 31 as so clandestine that only a few ever wield such technology. But the audience can't help but think, if such a device exists, even in secret, shouldn't Starfleet's top minds be aware of it? Shouldn't the Federation's history look very different by now? Ironically, this is part of what makes Section 31 so compelling. The organization is deliberately morally gray, ethically flexible, and narratively convenient. Its role is to challenge the utopian ideals of the Federation, to demonstrate that sometimes the right path is murky and fraught with compromise. By giving Section 31 cutting-edge devices like the neuromanipulator, the writers underscore the tension between power and morality, showing that technological supremacy doesn't automatically equate to ethical clarity. In other words, the plot hole isn't just laziness. It's a storytelling tool designed to highlight the dangers of unchecked control. The problem is that, once again, it requires the audience to overlook the practical consequences that would logically ripple through the galaxy. The clever part, though, is how the series threads this needle. The writers introduce subtle limitations. The device is unstable, morally repugnant, or dependent on very specific conditions. Characters question its use, debate its risks, and even suffer unintended consequences. These narrative checks and balances help mitigate the "why not always" problem, giving the technology context and purpose beyond mere plot convenience. The audience is asked to accept that Section 31's tech exists, but not without risk or narrative friction. Still, the tension between story needs and scientific plausibility remains. It's a problem Star Trek has never fully resolved. Can technology be both believable and plot-driven without undermining the universe's internal logic? Ultimately, Section 31's new device reflects a larger truth about Star Trek storytelling. The franchise thrives on imagination, yes, but it also occasionally leans on science as shorthand, a convenient bridge to morality plays, suspense, or character arcs.